Today I want to talk to you guys about why I use my credit card over my debit card. So stay tuned. My name is Jay, and welcome to Ask a Debt Collector. Now, I've been in the debt collection industry for over 15 years. I've done it all, from skip tracing to collecting to management, and I've owned 2 debt collection agencies. For the past 8 years, I've been the go-to guy for friends and family for questions regarding debt and credit, and now I want to be that person for you. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer those questions. Let's go. First, I want to thank everybody who's viewed any video that I've done, liked, or subscribed. If you haven't had the chance to do so, be sure to do so, like and subscribe. Now, into why I use my credit card over my debit card. First of all, I want to talk about the mental aspect of how we view a credit card versus a debit card, right? Or how I did, let me say that. And I believe a lot of other people probably will agree with me. Debit card is basically linked to your bank account. When you use your debit card, you put in your PIN number. If you don't have the funds to actually pay for whatever it is that you're trying to do, you go through the embarrassment of a decline. Or if you're trying to pull money out of the bank, and you realize there's no money in there, obviously that's how a debit card works. And that's how most people use a debit card. Whatever it is that you're making on a monthly basis goes into your checking account, and then you use that debit card to pay your bills and so forth that you have to pay on a month-to-month basis. And then typically how we look at a credit card is it's for the extra stuff. If something pops up, or emergency, or a lot of times, and be honest, including myself, and I know a lot of you who are out there watching this do the same thing, you may want something. Whether it's a game or whether it's, something a little extra that you don't have the funds to cover it, but you're like, hey, I could use this credit card. I have a $5,000 limit, $3,000 limit, whatever your limit is. I could use a credit card, get whatever it was that I wanted that I didn't have the money for now, and I could pay, over time I can pay it back. And as we know what happens with that credit limit, it creates a snowball effect. The next thing you know, you're maxed out on the credit card, and you only have that credit card, and all you're doing is paying off the large interest fees and a little bit on the principal balance until you can obviously pay it off, and you get yourself in a lot of things. But what I want you guys to do is to reprogram your mind on how you look at a credit card versus a debit card, right? So for myself, and what I recommend anybody, any friend or family, and you guys out there that are watching this, what I recommend you do is you look at your credit card like you look at your debit card, right? I never use my debit card. I have the debit card unless I'm going and for some reason I need to get cash out for something. Then I'll use my debit card. Outside of that, I never use my debit card. I look at my credit cards like they're my debit cards. So I have them all set up, my credit cards, and this is what I recommend you guys do. And you use those to pay your bills. Now, the reality is it's going to take discipline to do so, right? And you have to sort of kind of reprogram your mind. Whatever you thought credit was before, you need to look at it like as if whatever it is that you made during the month to pay your normal bills, you use your credit cards to pay that, and then you take the cash out of the bank account and pay back your credit cards before the due dates. I typically keep a zero balance, zero utilization. If you look at my credit report, I have credit cards and all my balances are fully available because I pay them off before the due date. But like I stated, I use my credit cards as debit cards. So that's the whole thing with regards to that, right? So I use my credit cards pretty much to pay everything. From cell phone bill, electric bill, gas bill, subscriptions that I may have. Even with me and my wife, we have what is called me money. So our extra money that we have, which is actually budgeted each month that we get to spend on ourselves. I use our credit cards to pay that, and I know I have the money to actually pay it back off with regards to that. Now, let's talk about the benefits. When you use your debit card, do you get any benefits? No, outside of the mere fact that, you don't have to carry cash, which, is a whole nother situation, old school. You don't have to carry cash, but anytime you want to buy something, you could just slide your card and do it. But that's pretty much the only benefit you get with a card, with your debit card. But with a credit card, most of the time, let's say worst case scenario, you got a secured credit card, right? If you don't know what a secure credit card is, it's basically for people who are trying to build credit. It's probably one of the first credit cards that you'll get. Basically, you go to your financial institution, you say you want a secure credit card, you give them $300, they give you a credit limit of that $300. But at the worst case scenario, if you're using a secure credit card, guess what's happening? You're building your credit. When you use your debit card, you're not building any credit. When you use your credit card and you actually use it for things to pay bills and you pay it off each month, you're building your credit. Your FICO score will go up. And that helps out with regards to versus using the debit card. Secondly, as you pass the secured situations, you get unsecured credit cards. And for those of you who don't know what that is, that's where you actually apply through, let's say, for instance, Capital One, and they give you a $500 credit limit on a credit card, right? Not only are you building your credit by using an unsecured credit card, which is typically where everyone, eventually that's where you'll get with credit. But not only are you building your credit, but a lot of these cards have rewards, right? And when I say rewards, this is what I mean. They'll give you 1%, 2%, 3% back on every purchase that you use. And so you're making money back on paying your bills. So in essence, you're sort of kind of making your bills a little bit less each month. So you get rewards for using credit cards. When you use your debit card, there is no reward. Whether you, with that debit card, whether you use it credit or you put your PIN number in to pay for whatever items or whatever bills that you have to pay, that's pretty much it. It's not helping building your credit and you're not getting any rewards for that. But with a credit card, you're building your credit and you're getting rewards back with regards to that. So you'll get 1%, 2%, 3% on the stuff that you have. And that's why I use a credit card over a debit card. Because with the debit card, you don't really get anything, right? Outside of the mere fact of, paying whatever bills that you may pay. But with the debit card, you don't get anything. But with the credit card, you can do the same exact thing, but you're doing two things. You're building your credit as well as you can get rewards, depending on how good your credit is and what types of cards that you get approved for as time progresses. So that's why I use my credit cards over my debit cards. But as we know, let's recap. It takes the mental discipline to actually look at a credit card as a credit card versus a debit card, number one. Number two, obviously, it's going to take a reprogramming of your mind, obviously, to look at a credit card like a debit card, because it's something that you're not taught in school, unfortunately, anything about credit in general. But you're going to have to reprogram your mind to think that way. And then secondly, it builds your credit, right? You get points, you're going to build your credit. It makes it a lot better concerning that. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I said, put them down in the comment section. And I promise you I'll answer those questions. As always, you guys be great.